How about you?
Actually, I have to get up early Tuesdays and Thursdays because my seminar starts at 8:40, so I'd like to go to bed early the nights before.
That's fine with me.
That's fine
If
with
I really
me.
need
I
more time to
really
study
need more
Mondays and
time to
Wednesdays, I
Monday
can go
to I
upstairs
can
to
go
the study
upstairs
room,
to study
which is
room,
open till 3
which
o'clock
is
every
open
day.
to 3 o'clock
Okay
every
then.
day. Okay
We'll go to
then,
bed
we'll go
around
to bed
11
around
o'clock Mondays and
11
Wednesdays
Mondays
and
and
around
around
midnight on other
midnight on
days.
other days.
How'd you like that?
How is
Sounds
your
good to
idea?
me.
Sound good to
We can
me?
change it
We can
anytime
chat
if we
it
want to.
anytime if
Just
we
say
want
so
to.
when your
Just say so
situation
or
changes or whatever.
or whatever.
I'll do that.
I do
Okay,
that, okay.
now we can
Now
go
we
on to
can
talk
go on
about our
to the topic
responsibility
about
for
our
household chores around this
responsibility
room.
for household chores around this room.
The next thing
The
I'd like
next
to
thing
talk
I'd like
about
to
is
talk
the
about
cyclic
is the
process of energy generation in a cell,
namely
namely the ATP
the
cycle
ATP
in
cycle, the
mitochondria.
mitochondria.
The chemical
The
compound
chemical compound
adenosine triphosphate is usually abbreviated as ATP. Well, first of all,
first of all,
ATP is
ATP is
very,
very,
very
very
important
important
because it's the
because it is
primary
a
source
primary
of
source of
energy for
energy
all
for
living
all living
cells.
cells.
Just like
Just
monetary
like a
currency,
monetary currency,
ATP is valuable and
variable
ubiquitous,
and
being
ubiquitous,
used to provide
being used
energy
to
in a
provide
wide
energy in a
variety of
wide
metabolic
variety of
reactions.
metabolic
You
reactions.
could say it's
You
a
could say it's
universal
a
molecule
universal
of energy
molecule of
transfer
energy
in living
transfer
things.
in living
Hence,
things. Hence,
ATP is
ATP
commonly
is
referred
commonly
to as
referred to
the free
as a
energy
free energy
currency or
currency
coin
or
of the
coin
cell
of the
as well.
cell as well.
Nevertheless, the
Nevertheless,
energy
the energy
content of
content
ATP
of
is
ATP
not
is not
significantly different from
significantly
other
different from
phosphates.
other phosphate.
For whatever reason,
Whatever
however,
reason, however,
evolution has
evolution
created
has
an array
created
of
an
enzymes
array of
that
enzymes that
preferentially bind with
preferentially bind with
ATP to
ATP
produce
to
energy
produce
for
energy
driving
for
reactions in
driving
all living
reactions in
things.
all living things.
Where do we find
Where do we
ATP?
find
Well,
ATP? Well,
ATP is
ATP
in the
is a
cytosol and the
cytosol and
mitochondria
the
in the cell.
mitochondria in
The
the cell. The
cytosol, you may also call
cytosol,
it the
you may
ground
also
substance
call
of the
the
cell.
ground substance of
This
the cell.
cytosol is
The
the fluid
cytosol is
portion
the
of the
fluid
cell that
portion of the
surrounds
cell
and
that surround and
contains the cellular
contains the cellular
constituents, including
constituents,
the
including
mitochondria.
the
Most of the
mitochondria. Most
ATP
of the
is found in
ATP
the
is found in
cytosol,
the cytosol.
but the major
But the
work of
major
energy
work of the
production
energy
is
production
performed
is
in the
performed in the
mitochondria.
mitochondria.
The
The
mitochondria are known
mitochondria
as
are
the
known as
cellular
the
energy
cellular energy
powerhouse.
powerhouse.
Why?
Why?
Because their sole
Because
job
their
is to
sole job
convert
is to
fuel, that
convert
is,
the fuel
food,
that is
to
a
energy.
food to energy.
The
The
mitochondria provide
mitochondria
energy
provide
for
energy
most of
for
the
most of the
energy-consuming activities of
energy-consuming
the cell
activities of the
by
cell by
transferring energy from
transferring
chemical
some
bonds
chemical
to
bonds to
energy-absorbing reactions within the
reactions
cell.
within the cell.
Particularly,
Particularly,
mitochondrion-rich
mitochondrial-rich
tissues.
tissue.
You know, mitochondrion is the
Mitochondrium is
singular
the
form of the
singular
term
form of the term
mitochondria.
mitochondria.
Anyway,
Anyway,
mitochondrion-rich
mitochondrial-rich
tissues are
tissues
those of
are
the
those of
skeletal
the skeletal
muscles,
muscles,
heart,
heart,
liver,
liver,
pancreas, and
pancreas,
kidneys.
and kidneys.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Heart and
Heart
skeletal
and
muscles
skeletal
work
muscles
hard
work
to meet the
hard to
body's
meet the
constant
body's
demand for
constant
mechanical
demand
work.
for the mechanical work.
Mitochondria in liver
Mitochondria in
cells
liver cells
contain
contain
enzymes to
enzymes to
detoxify ammonia,
detoxify ammonia,
which is a waste
which is
product
a
of
waste
protein
product of
metabolism.
protein
How about the
metabolism. How about
pancreas?
the
The
pancreas?
pancreas
The
is
pancreas
involved
is
in
involved
important
in important
biosynthesis, and the process of excretion begins in
excretion
the kidney.
begins in the kidney.
What is common
What
to the
is
tissue
common
of
to the
all
tissue
these
of all
organs?
these
Do you
organs?
know,
Do you know,
Charles?
Charles?
I think they
I think
are,
they're
all of them are
all
big
of them
consumers
are
of
big
energy, for
consumer of
starters.
energy for starters.
Bingo!
Bingo!
That's it.
That's it.
Those
The
tissues
tissue
require a
requires
lot
a
of
lot of
energy in
energy
order to
in order to
function.
function.
Hence, they have a lot of
they have a lot of
mitochondria.
mitochondria.
Okay then,
Okay then,
how does
how
the
does
energy
the
cycle in
energy cycle in
mitochondria work?
mitochondria work?
The ATP
The ATP
molecule
molecule
is composed of three
three
components.
components.
At the
At
center
the
is
center
a sugar
is a
molecule,
molecule,
ribose,
ribose,
the same
the
sugar
same
that forms
sugar
the
that
basis
forms the
of
basis of
DNA.
DNA.
Attached to one
Attached
side
to
of
the
this
one side
is
of this
adenine.
is adenine.
The other side
The
of the
other side
sugar
of
is
sugar
attached
is
to a string of
attached to a
phosphate
string of
groups.
phosphate groups.
These phosphates
These
are the key
phosphates
to the
are the key
activity
to
of
the activity
ATP.
of ATP.
As you may
As
know,
you may know,
tri or
or
triophosphate means
triphosphate
three,
means three.
and so
And so
ATP
ATP
has
is
three
three
phosphates.
phosphate.
When the chemical
When the
bond
chemical
holding one of the
bond holding
phosphate
one of the
molecules in
phosphate
ATP
molecules
is
in
broken,
ATP is broken,
energy is released.
energy is released.
This energy
When
is
this
then used to
energy
do
is
work
then
in the
used to
cell.
work in the
What is
cell.
left over
What
from this
is left
process
over from
is
the
adenosine diphosphate, or ADP,
or
and a free
ADP, or
phosphate.
free phosphate.
Three
Three
phosphates
phosphates
minus one free
one
phosphate
free
are two
phosphate
phosphates. So
So
di of
di or
diphosphate
diphosphates
means two.
two.
Elementary, right?
Right?
Right.
Right.
And Once ATP releases its energy, most of the resulting ADP returns to the mitochondria to be recycled back into ATP. After ATP forms again in the energy recycling process, it leaves the mitochondria and moves to the region of the cell needing energy. By the way, in order to generate ATP again from ADP and a free phosphate, we need to add energy back to form the bond. As we learned last time, the loss of an electron by a molecule, atom, or ion is called what? Anyone?
Oxidation?
Right. In oxidation, an electron is released or removed. Remember, in this case, electrons released in oxidizing the carbon fuels are used to recycle ADP back into ATP in the mitochondria. This process of energy formation and transfer by the mitochondria is called respiration. Yes?
Professor Roberts, respiration is breathing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, the process is essentially breathing. It's called respiration simply because it requires oxygen, just like our breathing, as you said. In any case, in order to understand the system by which, the mechanism of conserving the energy as ATP from respiration, it's necessary to appreciate the structural features of mitochondria. Well, mitochondria have two types of membranes. One is an outer membrane, which allows the passage of most small molecules and ions. And the other is a highly folded inner membrane, which does not even allow the passage of small ions and so, as a result, maintains a closed space within the cell. Nonetheless, to be of any use, ATP formed inside the mitochondria has to be moved into the cytocell of the cell to release energy. At the same time, ADP from the cytocell has to be moved into the mitochondria, where it can be recycled to ATP. Because the inner membrane is impermeable, however, they need assistance from a certain enzyme to keep ATP flowing to the cell and ADP flowing to the mitochondria.
These enzymes are located in and on the inner membrane. And when everything works smoothly and oxygen and food, that is fuel, is plentiful, energy recycling occurs unimpeded millions of times per second in every cell in the body. And also, the energy to create ATP from ADP comes ultimately from the sun via photosynthesis. Plants store extra energy as glucose. It's a natural form of sugar, and is used as a fuel to create more ATP in mitochondria of not just plants, but all living cells. And the final products generated by this whole metabolic system are carbon dioxide, CO2, and water. As you know, carbon dioxide is released when we exhale. Some of the water is also exhaled, and the rest is transported to the kidneys to be excreted as urine with other waste.
Urine with the waste. むずいわ。なんかこの問題集嫌いになってきたね。